Hello NMIMS, I'm Arivir and welcome back to another podcast. In the age of information, data is the most valuable asset, but raw data isn't enough. It needs to be refined to be effectively used. And to talk and discuss further upon that, we have with us Mr. Gaurav Kejriwal, the Vice President of EXL Analytics, he's a digital alchemist who unlocks the potential of data in our information-rich world with passion for data-driven information. Mr. Gaurav has honed his expertise to transform raw information into actionable thoughts. So, hello, sir.
Hello. Thank you, first of all, for such a lovely introduction.
Welcome, sir. So, please tell us about your journey so far, how you came to this place.
So definitely it has, though it may seem a bit funny, but it has been a long journey. There has been a lot of ups and downs throughout. I belong to a city called Raipur. I'm not sure if you're aware. It's a capital of Chhattisgarh. Now it is a capital of Chhattisgarh, but when I was born back in 1989, it was a smaller place in Madhya Pradesh. So I did my schooling, did my engineering from NIT Raipur. So stayed in Raipur for the first 21 years of my life, and then moved to Calcutta to do my MBA from IIM Calcutta. Again, I hope you're aware, Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta. And then straight away from campus went into EXL Analytics for my corporate job. This was my first stint, and since then I have been there with just a 10-month break in between to start my own venture. Did not work out to join EXL back, but have been there since then.
That's quite a journey, sir. So, sir, tell us that how does you, a boy from Raipur, get interested in data analytics? I mean, it is a very fascinating field, as I've heard. But what poked your interest into that?
I'll be very honest with you here. In fact, as you know, generally how the placements are run in B schools, you can have some interest, but it all boils down to how the placement process is going, right? You may want to land into a, let's say, finance job. Let's say you want to get into a bank. Let's say you want to do a marketing organization. To be very honest, I did not plan to get into an analytics job. I did my internship with Boston Consulting Group. Again, that was not something which was pre-planned, or was something that I wanted to do. I did that. I loved it. So therefore, I had a slight preference towards consulting per se. But again, I left it to the placement process. I landed in EXL, I would say not by choice, but by luck.
So your journey at EXL, it's been over a decade, I suppose?
Yeah.
So you joined as, a normal employee, now you are the vice president. How does that feel?
No, I would say a vice president is also a normal employee. I would not say much differences there, to be very honest with you. So journey, again, a lot of learnings throughout the process. I have understood how business works as well. Earlier when I joined, my overall focus was to, okay, what is the problem at hand? I'll just solve that. Rest, organization, what it is doing, I don't care much, right? I was just focused on what is required out of me at that point in time, and I used to do that. Slowly, steadily, I tend to understood that, okay, there are many more things apart from just doing what is required out of you, what is mentioned in your roles and responsibilities, right? So therefore, I took a couple of more initiatives within the organization. I got into a lot of campus recruitment. I managed campus recruitment and branding as well within EXL. Then I got into business development as well, which at one point in time no one was doing, specifically in India geography. There are definitely a lot of business development activities which happen, in US, Europe, in maybe Australia geographies as well, but India market no one was doing back in 2019. I initiated that, took that initiative, and now our India geography is actually one of the strategic geographies for EXL.
Well, so that is the entrepreneurship spirit that you have in you. So another thing I wanted to talk about is that today, if we see that data security is a very hot debate that we are going through. So how do you work your ethical concerns with that? Because, data, everybody is concerned about it. And data privacy, breach and security, that is the hot topic. We have seen, a lot of new legislations coming out for it today. And how is you and your company working towards that?
No, absolutely. Very pertinent question with respect to current scenario, I would say. And data security has always been a concern. It's just that the concern is growing further and further with respect to the new developments when it comes to cybersecurity frauds and all that are coming up. So therefore the concern is still rising. With respect to how I or EXL actually is positioned to handle such this kind of scenario is that we generally we have first of all a very strict policy within EXL that whatever data I am looking at, I am not allowed to discuss with anyone else. I can discuss the idea, the problem statement at large, the approach at large, but I cannot discuss the specific data elements that I am looking at. So that is complete no. In fact, EXL is not known for firing employees at all, but EXL has fired employees only when there has been a data security breach, intentional data security breach by employees. Then the firing has been done. And with respect to a couple of other I would say levers that we try to pull is we tend to work in client environments. What happens there is there is no transfer of data that is happening in EXL environment, and that gives a lot of comfort to the client as well. That gives us a lot of comfort to us as well, because then there are relevant data security practices which the client has put, we just follow them. And we also, based on our experience, based on 20 plus experience in this world, in the data and analytics world, EXL brings a lot of expertise with respect to building data security frameworks as well. And we do that kind of consulting to our clients too.
And let's talk about your personal life. So you mentioned NIT and IIM.
Right.
So please tell us about your experience in those colleges that Moshfegh and what do you think that is exclusive in those places that is not pretty much found in other places?
Sure, absolutely. Very good question, something which I have not pondered much about, to be very honest. Let me start with NIT Raipur. NIT Raipur is actually a very old institute. It used to be, a regional institute of technology back in time, and so what it carries is that kind of experience, that kind of legacy with it. So definitely the teaching practices are up to mark. The unique thing about there is the teachers are more or less your friends. The professors are more or less your friends. You study from them, but at the end of the day you can connect with them at a personal level too. They are able to guide you if you're lacking somewhere. They are able to understand your situation. They are able to understand your personal situations as well and guide you along the way. It's not just that our job is to help you teach a particular subject and that's where our job gets over. No, that's not it. That is definitely one. There are a lot of cross branches communications also that happens. When I say cross branch, because what happens is you are in electronics and telecom, one is computer science, one is IT, electrical. There are many branches, right? So there are a lot of events, there are a lot of practices, a lot of initiatives which are run in the college where you can have cross branch communications and interactions as well, so that you can know what other people are also learning. You're not just focused on what you are doing or what you are learning at that point. So these couple of things which I like. And thirdly, it is in Raipur, that is my home city. So that is another thing.
So what about extracurriculars? Were you into them also?
Not much. I was a very studious guy here. So, for me, it was all about academic success. I actually eventually was, third rank in the overall institute when I ended NIT, when I ended my tenure with NIT Raipur. So that was my overall focus. And at the same time, I was preparing for the CAT examinations for 2010. So again, it left a very little room for any other activity. So I was not involved much in extracurriculars.
So what about your school days? I mean, you must have been into some sports, or almost every person is.
Yes, absolutely. In school, definitely I was. In school, I was part of volleyball team, and my section actually won the volleyball tournament, intersection volleyball tournament as well. I was the captain of that team. That was one. I was part of, my class, my sections and my classes, a shot put candidate as well. Did not win anything, but that was another one thing, because right now I may look lean, but at that time I used to carry that weight with me. So it was a natural choice that I'll be able to throw shot put. Was not able to. Did not have that much strength, to be very honest.
And I mean, if given the chance, would you do it again? Volleyball. I mean, you can at your company. You can create that.
No, absolutely right. In fact, couple of things I do miss. Sports, definitely I miss. I used to play volleyball. I actually took a training for basketball as well. I actually learned for 2 months. From a particular setup in the class. I took special classes to learn basketball. It was not just few friends playing. I took a course for it. I actually took a course for cricket as well. In a cricket academy, I actually moved from amateur group to an intermediate group within 2 months. And at that point in time, I actually wanted to be a cricketer. I think most of us want to be a cricketer in our childhood days. I wanted to do that. But at the end of the day, somehow academics took, priority over everything else. So that's why I did not pursue them. But yeah, I do miss them. If given a chance to redo some of it, I would have, managed my time better, I would say, because there were a couple of distractions also which I could have avoided at that time and focused more on my sport.
I mean, sir, you seem like a very focused person in whatever you did, and you excelled at most of the things, whether it is your work or whether it was in school or in sports also, that you were able to move quickly. So, what is the key ingredient that you would advise to us youngsters, as especially we are going through that college phase right now?
Yeah.
We are still, we are all young adults here. So, what is the key ingredient to success? I mean, how can we stay so determined that we're able to break through?
One thing which has worked well for me is, how I can be focused towards a particular path. Whatever I take, I do not take it just for the sake of it. If I'm not excited by something, I won't take it up for sure. If I'm excited by it, I'll take it and I'll give my complete focus towards it. And whatever comes my way, whatever distractions come my way, I will try to avoid it as much as I can. I will not, let's say if I'm preparing for, an entrance examination, and it's not that whatever I'm saying, I have lived by it throughout my life. I have made my own mistakes, learned from them. But if I talk about, off lately, what has been working for me is the constant focus towards doing things better. So I do not try to compete with others, because most of the time what happens, as young adults is we look at our counterparts, that, okay, he's doing better, she's doing so much. Where am I? Am I doing well or not? That is something which plays in our mind a lot. So what I learned in the last few years is that my competition is with myself. Whatever I did a year back, I just need to be better than what I was last year. I need to be better than what I was last month, last quarter. That is my focus. And I do not, refrain from making mistakes anymore. It's okay. Mistakes are happening. I will, accept it. Maybe not in the face, not in front of everyone, but in my mind, I will accept it. I will know what I did wrong, what I could work upon. I'll work upon it and ensure that I don't repeat it again. And that is what I focus. I do not try to keep a very structured goal or objective in front of me that, okay, I want to achieve this. I just keep doing things in a better manner. That is the focus that I keep.
So, consistency is the key.
Exactly. Yep.
And especially passion and interest also.
Yep.
So, as I was saying that, what if that you at your company, open something for sports in your free time? I mean, wouldn't that be a joy?
That would be.
I mean, see, sports make, there is all these hormones,
absolutely.
make you more productive. So, you and your colleagues can maybe play basketball again.
No, absolutely. You're completely right. And this is something, as I said, this is something which I miss. It's just that somehow I'm not able to prioritize that among the other things which are going on, whether it's work or whether it's some other aspects of personal life. It's just that unable to find mental space, physical space as well, to be able to do that. Hopefully, I'll be able to do that at certain point in time. Maybe if I look back and realize maybe I'm not prioritizing that enough. If I prioritize that, I'll be able to achieve that. It's just the priority that is missing.
And so you also spoke about that you had a few distractions. Could you please warn us against them? What sort of distractions are we exactly talking about?
No, see, distractions could be, doing something which actually when I say distraction, that loosely means doing something which makes you move away from the path that you want to be in, right? And that distraction could be, certain habits, and those habits could be coming in from your friend circle, could be coming in from within yourself as well. Focusing, let's say you're focusing too much on television, let's say for an example, right? It's not bad, but it's just that if it is, moving you away from your path, then it's a distraction, right? So watching too much television, focusing on what other people are saying about you, right? So that is one distraction which I faced a lot, in my early days. I used to focus a lot, what other people think of me, how am I behaving, how am I walking, how am I talking, how other people might think of me. I constantly looked for validation from other people, which was a huge distraction for me, very honestly. And it put too much pressure on me, and I worried a lot. I used to think about that particular piece a lot. And, I was not channelizing all my efforts or my energies in the right way. So those are the kind of distractions which I would urge you all to avoid as much as you can. Though as young adults, I would definitely suggest you guys to be open to make mistakes. This is the time, to experience everything as well. Even those distractions are experiences, right? So you will make such mistakes. How much ever anyone tells you to do that, tells you not to, you will make your own mistakes and you will learn from it. And it is good to do that. It's just that, whenever you make a mistake, learn from it. And then, move towards self-improvisation. And that is what I would suggest.
Very well said. So that was something that even I myself have been looking forward to. That I need to start believing more in myself than what people are saying. So we spoke about your school days and NIT Nagpur. Let's move to Calcutta because that is an entirely different experience, different people, different culture, different food especially. So please tell us about that.
Sure. So Calcutta, this was the very first time I actually moved out from my home to live somewhere else. So you can imagine it's a different experience altogether, right? Till now I was eating food, home food cooked by my mom, very delicious, tasty, very healthy, and now suddenly you end up eating mess food, right? Hostel mess food. Now just imagine, instead of in a dal or in pulse, you rarely see pulse, you just see water, and you have to and see this transition, and it was not easy, the transition. It was a bit of a shocker, but and initial few days were not easy, to be very honest. I used to miss a lot, of home food, the home experience. 21 years, sudden change, it can't be that easy, right? But slowly I started to get accustomed and had very good people around me, as my fellow batchmates. Very good people, very understanding people. A couple of them were also in the same path as me. They left home for the very first time. So we were able to understand each other better. And I had a very, 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 understanding or good, group of, fellows with me. And they actually became friends for life. Experience wise, definitely it was phenomenal experience. Calcutta, I would any day rate it better than any other experience because I learned a lot there. Till that time, till engineering, I was focused completely on academic success, top 2 spots in the class and so on. But Calcutta, the very first trimester, I again, focused on academic success. I did that, but somehow I felt that, okay, let's do something different here. अभी तक सिर्फ पढ़ाई की है, let's do something else. That does not mean to be कि पढ़ाई नहीं करनी है. It's just that the studies will not be your first priority. So then I came across opportunity to become a placement representative, and I became one of them. And again, from your fellow students, you may know that it is not an easy job, right? It's a very
Definitely not an easy
it's
job.
very tough job. It leaves very little room for your personal pursuits and your academic studies as well. So I gave all there. I actually, and academically, definitely nowhere close to top 10, top 50 or anywhere. I landed somewhere in between in a batch of 460. But overall, I learned a lot. It was a phenomenal experience, phenomenal group of people that I was working with, fought with them, made terms with them at the same time. In a close group of 10 people, you will do, right? It's you will fight, you will make terms, you will make friendships. But again, it was an awesome time. Loved the city as well. Uh, Calcutta, in my mind, given it's actually outskirts of Calcutta, the college, and we was living in hostels, so did not too much enjoy the city life of it, the Park Street and all of Calcutta. But Calcutta to me is very close to my heart, not because of any food or any, Park Street, those kind of places, just because of my campus. It actually has 7 lakes as well. And as part of, I still remember one thing, a couple of traditions of the college as well. One is, if you're a placement representative and if you're able to place your entire batch of seniors, you will be thrown into the lake.
That is
You will be and the lake is not swimmable, to be very honest. There are a lot of algae, it's not cleaned, and there a lot of snakes come out of that lake during rainy season, and we were thrown into that.
And how was the experience of being thrown into such a lake?
It was good. It was awesome because at that time we were filled with excitement. It was completely awesome. We actually hurt ourselves as well because we were thrown in, and the lake is not the experience was completely worth it. At any point in time, if you ask me if I want to do it again, please throw me into that lake again. I don't mind at all. So yeah, that was one tradition, and another was, there a lot of trees were there, and there are a lot of pigeons. Obviously, pigeons are there, so that they will shit as well, right? So we used to consider very lucky if this shit falls on you.
I mean, how is it considered even lucky?
So generally, there is a general belief as well that there, but in campus also it is there that right before the placement season starts, if that's actually falling on you, you will have a good placement time. And people have been believing that for the last 25-30 years.
I mean, if there's such a belief, then obviously everyone would want that the pigeon shits on you.
Yeah, so we used to do that.
Okay, so did you find any special woman over there?
Not there. I found my special woman in 2015 in Gurgaon as part of an arranged marriage setting.
Okay.
So our parents met over shadi.com, and then there was a meeting set up. I still remember the date. It was 3rd of July 2015 when I met her for the very first time. And sometimes one look is enough.
Yeah.
And I would not say that I was very sure, but and it's not that she was the last woman or she was the last girl whom I saw from in that arranged marriage pursuit. I saw a few more, I met a few more, but
you just knew.
I just knew in my heart that maybe she's the one, and on her birthday is on 8th of July. I actually wished her also. And not even thinking that how will she feel about it, because we just had met once. I had just taken her number and we did not talk for the next 4 or 5 days. I just wished her happy birthday on that day, and that's it, not expecting anything. And then the stars came together, and our marriage was fixed towards the end of July, and we got married on 14 December 2015.
I'm sure she wasn't expecting a present like that. So, sir, one last question to you, and it is somewhat related to your work.
Yeah.
So, we see that data analytics again is a highly competitive field nowadays. Yeah. And what would you advise to newcomers? Because a lot of people get into it, a lot don't. So, what would you advise them?
Sure. So I think if anyone is targeting to get into a data analytics field, right? So I think the primary focus for them should be that they should be willing to solve problems, because data analytics is not about coding, only coding. Definitely it is about coding for sure. You should be ready to code, get your hands dirty as well, but you should be able to solve problems. You should be willing to do that. It's not that everything will be spoon fed, that ye वेबसाइट है वैसे टाइप से कोड कर दो. It's not about that. I'm not trying to say that website development is a lesser kind of a job. I'm not trying to say that, but analytics requires a lot of acumen with respect to solving problems, looking at data, looking at tons of data, lakhs, millions, trillions of rows, and trying to find a meaning from it. If you're and you will be able to do that only when you are open to solving problems, right? So have an open mind, try to see how you can solve problems in a structured manner as well, because what happens is, if you're approaching a problem with too many thoughts in your mind, कि अच्छा मैं ये भी देख लेता हूँ, ये भी देख लेता हूँ, ये भी देख लेता हूँ, maybe you won't be able to end up anywhere, right? So having that structured approach is definitely important, along with your openness to be able to code. Because what happens is, most of the times when I visit, and talk to MBA students or BBA students, they say that यार business administration कर ही इसलिए रहे हैं ताकि कोड ना करना पड़े, right? Because that coding is considered to be an engineer's job, right? That is what it is considered. But if as a BBA or BCom or an MBA wants to come into analytics field, they should be ready to code as well.
So thanks a lot for this,
Absolutely,
heartwarming
it's all my pleasure.
podcast. It was very nice speaking with you about your experiences, and to be honest, you have given me quite hopes about my post-graduation. And given your experience, I would love to visit Calcutta also sometime.
Oh, no, absolutely. I'll let you know when I'm in Calcutta. Maybe we can meet up there itself.
Well, so that would be amazing.
Thanks a lot for having me. It was a pleasure having a chat with you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.